So my name is Georgia Wheatley and I studied the Food and Beverage Service at University College Birmingham. So it wasn't always my first thought to do food and beverage. It was one of those, maybe I'll do that. I wanted to be a teacher originally, but I came to one of the UCB open days and I also did Young Waiters Academy, and from those 8 weeks in service, I literally fell in love with the place. I fell in love with the people and the college and what the college stands for, but I also love the difference within the course itself. There is so many opportunities. It doesn't necessarily have to be standing in front of a table, taking their order and pouring a glass of wine. You could become a bartender, you could become a chef, you can go into hospitality within hotels, becoming a receptionist, going on as temporary work, going all around Birmingham or all around the city, working with different universities, doing events. You can lead on to events management. So for me, for example, I trained at UCB, but I was working part-time at Simpson's restaurant in Edgbaston, and being able to see the Michelin star side of the industry and how the precision is needed. But then I also took a step back and did industry work experience within a coffee shop and a deli, and also afternoon tea. So there's so many ways you could do it. It could be Michelin star restaurants, it could be fine dining, casual dining, or even just pop-up restaurants in general. The course is built up with my confidence because I am a little bit of a perfectionist, and when things aren't going that well within the service I expected, I do get a little bit anxious. So to be able to take a step back from that role and being able to say, okay, this is how it's going, this is not my fault, let's do this instead, and being able to jump and get to it without fussing about it too much, which I would have done when I first started. Being able to kind of stiff up a lip and say that it isn't personal, it isn't against me, and to be able to push that doubt to the back of my head, because I do have that confidence now, which I wouldn't have if I hadn't done the course itself. So for me, being in Birmingham city centre, you have got everything around you. So if you wanted to go and get lunch somewhere, we all went to McDonald's, you know, you can just go out and get lunch. You can also go to the shops or have a coffee, meet with different people, go and have like lectures outside of work, because we went to the Loki wine, we went to Connolly's wine shop, we've been to Pernell's. You wouldn't get to do that and have that experience if you weren't within our city, because we've got so much there available for us to use as a resource. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned. It's like, wow, there's so much around me that I could use. So within travelling towards the city, it is a little bit easier than what you expect. I would always recommend getting the trains, just because they tend to be on time a little bit quicker. I always find they're a little bit safer to use the trains myself, because I've come all the way from Oldbury. But I mean, if you're on a night service at the college, they will provide you with a taxi home, so it's not too bad getting home in the dark. So my first placement at UCB when I was in level 1 was the Home is Where Cafe Deli. I wanted to twist the idea of fine dining on its head and say, well, actually, no, what could I do as a barista? What could I do if I work in a little cafe? And that, to a surprise to everybody, that was really beneficial. So I was baking in the morning, not very well, but I was baking in the morning, making coffees, making lunch, clearing up, meeting new people, listening to business opportunities and business lunches, getting the rush within the business community in Birmingham. And then my second placement was a little bit different as well. I went to the Edgbaston Boutique Hotel, which serves quirky, quick afternoon teas with funky cocktails on the side that play with dry ice and different flavours batting about. It was brilliant. So the 3 words that I would describe the food and beverage course would be, firstly, rewarding, because you see yourself grow as a different person from when you started. You see that confidence gain, you see that product knowledge. You just get that spark and it clicks, and that's brilliant. I'd also say it's diverse, because no day is ever the same. You could be working at the back of house one day, you could be working front of house one day, you could be on the cheese board another day. It's completely different what you're doing. You could be learning about wine in Loki's wine or Connolly's wine one day, or the next day you're going to Pernell's to do a practice shift. And then I'd also say it's challenging. It's definitely hard work, but you've got to be determined, and you do get that reward from it. It's definitely worth it.